Welcome everyone back to Pete's Investing Updates. In this special edition, I'll be covering a brief overview of the world share markets as well as commodities and how they're performing. The market wrap will focus on the ASX, the US and the NASDAQ and China and some commodities. Natural gas, iron ore and Brent crude. We'll look at the stock charts of these indices and commodities to show the table of results. If you're to trade these using CFDs, covering our trading strategy. As always, don't forget to review the channel playlists, and that's to review the indices, share prices and strategies. In the strategies video, I've got the simple trading strategy, the average down approach, and some money management ideas. Not offering financial advice, it's purely an educational series. Let's get started. So in the this is first the ASX, and this is looking at a daily chart. You can see here the ASX, the US500 and the NASDAQ all retrace back to their simple moving average trend line. And they've also kept below this moving average 20, simple moving average 20 trend line. So I'll watch those closely. So they're accumulating in this area. And if they break through below the moving average 200, that'll be a bit of a concern. And that'll all depend on the China Evergrande saga. And if that developer is bailed out by the Chinese Communist Party or not, and we'll see what happens. We talked about that in some past videos. And the Chinese Communist Party will likely force Chinese banks to bail out Evergrande. I'm just following closely to see how that goes and how that results with the Chinese market. Let's look at the China market. You can see here it's a bit of a downtrend, but it's also going to be accumulating most likely. It's been sitting on this support level for some time. If it breaks below that, it'll probably start then bounce off this key support area here as well. If it falls through further below that, then we're looking at pretty much a free fall. We're not sure where that's going to stop. It may well bounce off this little minor support line. It's got a long way to go. So first things first, let's see if it keeps continuing along this little narrow path here. If it falls below that support, as we said, it's going to keep going and further down. So we'll keep a close eye on that. And this brings us to the commodities. Let's look at, first of all, natural gas. Natural gas is doing quite well. It's advancing along this moving average 20 line, and it's approaching and it's hitting off this key resistance at the moment. Now that was hit back here in 2014, so it's hitting similar peaks to that period there, as you can see there. So it's looking quite promising for natural gas. Let's see if it continues that trend. Then we look at Brent crude. Brent crude likewise is making advances, and that's also approaching this resistance line, and that was reached back in late 2018. So it's making new advances, new highs over the last 2 years, and most likely going to reach and hit this key resistance line. Iron ore, on the other hand, going in the opposite direction. That's fallen through our moving average 200 and continuing this downtrend. As you can see here, it's almost touched this key support line, and it's bounced off that. Now, it may well bounce back down and break through that level if things go south with the China market and Evergrande. So again, that's another thing to look out for. Iron ore is a key export for Australia to China, and they've suppressed imports from Australia as a result of the diplomatic hostilities in recent times. So again, let's keep an eye on iron ore and China in particular. Let's have a look at our key world markets. We talked about Australia, the US market. Now they're the results since trading 2007, and this is our trading strategy. And again, refer to our videos in the playlists, on a strategy playlist, to better understand how this works. But also, this is just the results trading back from the start of 2007 till today. Today's the 10th of October. Then we simply average that over the monthly revenue, which is simply looking at that divided by 177, gives us those for each of those respectively. That's it for today's wrap. Remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and set a reminder to keep up to date with postings, and we'll speak to you in a future video.